3 straight out at 3. No over direction. It works clockwise. Yeah, and it will be this way. The right ear is always 3 o'clock. The left ear is always 9 o'clock. The horizontal dimension, they are in control of shape. Round, square, triangle. I'm not necessarily of the mindset that I'm trying to get things done quickly. I want it hopefully to be as comfortable and smooth through the process. Still, most important for me is personality and trying to fit the personality with the haircut. I'm gonna start kind of have like a classic innocence, and then it will go into more crazy. The beginning of my education was more, I was a visual artist. I didn't have to really communicate a whole lot. The only thing I had to do was look cool doing cool hair. So at 23 years old, that was a very nice thing for me to get to do, but I got a little bit bored by it just being surface. Like I needed a little more depth. So I would mention the clock, and I would cut 6 straight out at 6, 9 would be straight out at 9, 3 straight out at 3, no over direction, yeah? And since there's no over direction, you don't fill as the head rounds. You follow the rounding of the head, kind of introducing the clock cutting concept back then, and now as it's been 20 some years, clock cutting method. Think of the head then as more of a clock. You can think of the front center of the face, the nose area as 12 o'clock. The right ear as 3 o'clock. The vertebrae here in the center is back of 6 o'clock, and the left ear as 9 o'clock. It works clockwise, yeah? And it will be this way. The right ear is always 3 o'clock. The left ear is always 9 o'clock. Primary hours are again 12, 3, 6, and 9. The secondary hours are in the access point or in the middle, the corner of those primary hours. So in this situation right here, would be at 1:30, secondary hour at 1:30. Between 3 and 6, if they started walking towards each other, 4:30. So those 8 hours let you know what time or what times you cut at as per what shape you're going to acquire. So if you pull everything back and cut everything back here at 6 o'clock, it will be shortest here at 6 o'clock. It will become longer towards 12. A-line, triangle bob, Mormon bob, Karen, call the manager, call it what you like. That's what it's gonna do. If we pull everything to the front and cut everything right here at 12 o'clock, it will be shortest here at 12 o'clock. It will become longer towards 6. Round, shag, mullet, wolf, butterfly, any animal or insect you can think to call it what you like, that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna be shortest at 12, longer towards 6. As these hours are on the horizontal dimension, they are in control of shape. Round, square, triangle. It's gonna work with a round concave layer. I'm gonna go through and have a section a finger's width section that will start right on the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock line. And so having a finger's width is nice because I can stay in between that lane comfortably. As we know as hairdressers, in the real world, I may not clip everything up as much. For an adult, I have found out that, no surprise to me, I have ADHD, and I'm not medicated or anything of that manner. And so I have found to, make it more comfortable for my mindset and my busy mind. I found that working small, slow, and in control is much more my comfort zone. So I only work with the area I'll be working with at that time. As I'm a right-hander, I'm only gonna stand at 3 o'clock to cut it. I find that if you cut from your short to your long, that's very comfortable to the body. If you cut from the long to the short, it's very awkward. So this is definitely, this layering pattern that I'm working with here is definitely a very salon-friendly type of haircut. Obviously a round layered haircut is one of the most used or most worn haircut in the salon world. So here's one section or zone through here. I'm gonna do that and subsection it into 3 subsections. There'll be basically 3 floors, 3 horizontal floors. Yeah, so 1, 2, and 3. And you'll see with this, I can comb this up very fast, even if I wanted, which can be very friendly for your assistants specifically, for your younger hairdressers. Because if you can remember being a young new hairdresser, At least for me, the struggle was just finding my guide. If I could just know where my guide at, I would feel confident. And so you can see with this, I can comb this right up fast. And there's my guide. It's being elevated up to the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock line. And then the line's already in there. So then I point my fingers down at the floorboards, and then I cut from shorter at 12, longer towards 6, tracing the same line. I'm 47 years old, so I'm not a young kid. So I don't have that young kid ability, like a lot of young kids right now, they were already installed with a multitasking app. I didn't get a multitasking app. Yeah, my software wasn't there yet. So with cutting hair though, this is the only time that I feel that I can multitask. Because I can be standing here at 3 o'clock and I can make sure that I don't lean to 12 and I don't lean to 6. So I can see the 12 to 6 dimension right now. Then I can look in the mirror in a salon and I can see the 9 to 3. And I want to make sure that I'm straight up, not leaning to 12 or 6, and straight up into that 12 to 6 line, being able to trace right on top of that then. There's elevation and over direction in this because it's over directing back, over direction more side to side movement, elevation up and down movement. So there is both being implemented onto this at the same time. Choose to cut her hair wet for kind of more control of things and more option for me later to decide how I want to style her hair, to be honest with you. And that's the thing, like right now, it's almost like I'm dealing with teenage hair. What I mean by that, I think of wet hair as like a baby. I think of damp hair as like a teenager. I think of dry hair as like an adult. And like babies, I like babies because they listen to you for the most part. They don't argue with you too much. Teenagers, they don't want to listen to you at all, and all they want to do is argue with you. And adults sometimes can be stubborn. So I prefer, I'm not the hairdresser that works from wet to dry. I work wet or dry. I don't really like teenage years so much. Yet for hers, it's almost teenage times. I can see from the back stuff here as to where the previous was at there. So then I can go from that spot there and work like this. Again, shorter at 12, higher or longer towards 6, pointing towards floorboards. And I like to just use the head a lot as it's sat, basically. I think that's definitely another one of those like been around the block kind of things, I guess. Don't need to use a clip, can use gravity and use the head as a rester to keep the hair there. I'm not necessarily of the mindset that I'm trying to get things done quickly. I want to hopefully to be as comfortable and smooth through the process. I don't subscribe to the fact that crossing your legs make any difference. The only thing it makes a difference to is more of a front to back movement, not a side to side movement. Go ahead and cross your legs for me. Uncross your legs for me. It didn't drop. It didn't drop. Yeah, but now go ahead and bring your chin forward for me, and you can feel pretty looseness. It goes down pretty far down there. Now cross your legs for me. You can feel the tightness come a little bit sooner. It's more of an up and down movement than it is a side to side movement, then it really restricts. So I think that hairdressers, sadly enough, for the most part, use it as an excuse. So I don't like to live in excused mindsets. I just want to, again, live in truth. If you think that crossing the legs will make it crooked, it will likely make it crooked. If you recognize that it won't, then it likely won't, as per life. If you think this is the deal, it likely becomes the deal. So mindset to me is very important with a lot of things. And work right through. Again, being mindful of this area so I'm not pulling so much that I'm pulling that skin away from the head or anything. Give it a little bit of, just a little bit of tightness, a slight bit of elevation, just so it gives it a little bit more of like a bevel type feel in there. And a little bit of over direction so it just has even more kind of like push into a front feel there. That's very cool, and I think it's a great way to take, again, a classic, innocent, pretty girl haircut and make it have some edge on itself immediately. Great empathy-filled thing. So again, I'm gonna look at the face as my guide. So I'm looking at lip, get my fingers aligned with the lips, still that soft diagonal back and that soft elevation off, just to give that little bevel. Let me go a little bit higher on that. The cool thing that I find, at least, is that in this day and age, clients that are like her, they're always in TikTok, they're always on YouTube, all those kind of things. So they see so many different ways to style it anyway. And it's not that I want TikTok or YouTube to tell my clients how to style their hair, but it's there. I do put just a soft bend right at the root, all the way out through the ends. So that way, no matter where I cut it at later, it'll just have that soft bend like that. Because really that's my point, because even if someone has like super straight hair, I still go through and tend to iron it straight. And they'd be like, isn't my hair straight enough? And sure, it is straight enough, but it may not be consistent. And I want there to be equality, and I want there to be the consistent message with all of it. No different stories from one strand to the other strand. Still, most important for me is personality, and trying to fit the personality with the haircut. And it's still kind of old school, very simple, basic haircut, just with a little added flair in the front, really. With color, some things are all brand new, basically. So it's not even about a trend, it's about the new chemical or the new technique. And with cutting hair, there's very few things that we can get into there to be truly new. And I know she is good, really, the choppier the better. Always with bangs too. So I'm gonna play very kind of free with it.
My instinct is to close my eyes even though
That's cute.
I'm just like, no.
Natural tendencies.
Like putting on mascara and opening your mouth.
Doing the type of hair I like. That's all I can say. Really, when it comes down to, say like the other day I had a client that wanted some like shaved in parts in her hair. And I let her know that I can shave things in your hair, but I cannot duplicate someone else's thing. That's not my comfort zone, because now I have to make it like theirs. And it doesn't feel right to me. I'm trying to be someone else that I'm not. So I can put lines in and put things in, but only if it feels right to me, I guess. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Right on.
Yay! We're running to the girls.
Okay, you go right ahead. You go right ahead.
Check out 360.
Thank you, thank you. Back to you, friend.